Most people set financial goals that they never actually reach. They say, I'll save more, I'll invest consistently, and by March, it's over. So I'm gonna show you exactly how I set money goals that I actually hit, and it's the same method that I use inside of my accountability group. So step one, I know it's cliche, but you need to reflect before you plan. Don't just set new goals because it's January. Look back and ask, what worked in 2025 and what didn't work in 2025? Did you hit your savings goals? Did you invest like you said you would? Write down all the small wins and all the improvements that you could make. I like to call my small wins my ta-da list because it helps me build confidence before I start setting even bigger goals. So that's the first step. Make sure that you are reflecting on what happened in 2025, because if you don't, we can't really get any better from there. Step two is to track what is currently going on. So what you track, you can improve. What you do not track, you cannot improve, because you have no idea what is going on if you do not track. It's really hard to set goals that are realistic when you have no idea how much you are currently making and how much you are currently spending each month. Again, I have an accountability group and I coach people, and I meet a lot of people who say they want to, let's say, invest $500 a month. So what do? In January, they automate that $500 transfer from their checking accounts to their investment accounts every single month. In theory, that sounds great, like it should work. But in reality, that person should only be investing $200 a month based on their income level and their expense level. So what happens in this situation? They find themselves constantly pulling from their investments. Every single month, they're having to take money out of their investments. And then they get discouraged, and then they feel like they're not able to reach their financial goals. And then they give up on their goals for the rest of the year. I don't want that to be you. So before you set any goals, look at what is currently going on in your finances so you can see what you can actually afford to put away towards saving and investing. And sometimes doing this will show you that I actually need to make more money, or I need to cut down some expenses if I want to save and invest every single month. Step three is to pick a focus for each category. So I encourage you to set one savings goal, one investing goal, and one spending goal. That's it. When you have too many goals, it leads to overwhelm, and overwhelm leads to no progress. So I like to start with baby steps. Of course, the more advanced you get, the more goals you can implement. But for example, as a beginner, you can say, my savings goal is to save $5,000 for travel in 2026. My investing goal is to max out my FHSA with $8,000 in 2026. And my spending goal is to eat out only once a week and a max of $50 weekly, okay? These are simple, clear, and trackable goals. And to take it even a step further, I encourage you to break down those big goals into small goals. For example, hearing $8,000 saved or invested in your FHSA feels like a little overwhelming. So you can say, actually, that means I need to put $665 away monthly into my FHSA. Then again, we know from our second step that we know exactly how much we can put into our FHSA every month, so then we can make a plan that actually makes sense. So then we can say, I actually don't have the income to support putting $665 away every single month. So I'm gonna lower that to $333 into my FHSA a month. So then you'll realize that, okay, I won't be able to max it out with $8,000, but I will get closer to about $4,000 for the year. Do you see how I set a realistic goal instead of me making it halfway and feeling so discouraged that I'm not able to meet it? I actually choose something that's realistic for my income level and my expense level. And that's not to say it can't change in the future, but right now, based on your current income and your current expenses, that is what you can afford. So stick to that. Step four is to automate everything. I have realized that you don't actually need more willpower, you need better systems. Motivation is very fleeting. It doesn't last long at all. So I learned a very long time ago to stop relying on my motivation. Instead, what I have done is I have set up automatic transfers for everything. So my investments, my savings, and even my giving, like my tithes at church, it is all automated, because this ensures that even when I don't feel motivated to give, or when I don't feel motivated to save or to invest, it still happens. And that means that I achieve my goals every single year. Step 5 is to add accountability. This is where most people fall off. You can write goals all day, to be honest, but if nobody's checking in, then oftentimes we fade. So I encourage you to join a group or get a friend or literally set a calendar reminder for a 15-minute money check-in every single week. And that will help you go very far. In my group, for example, we check in once a week to set one small actionable goal that can help you get closer to your goal. And I would say this is a game changer for most people. Again, it's taking the huge goal and breaking it down into something small that can help you get there. You also get a free one-on-one with me when you are in my group, which is added accountability because, to be honest, I will drag you, but very lovingly during that meeting. Step 6 is to just leave room for life. The reality is that you can't predict every expense or opportunity, so don't beat yourself up if you miss a month or if an emergency pops up that derails your financial goals temporarily. Just reset and keep moving. If you fall off, you should simply get back up and use people around you to help you get back up. If you need to, let them help you get back up, and then stop beating yourself up about it and start making change so you can get back to where you want to be. The reason that this system works so well is because it's not really about perfection. It's more about gaining momentum and sticking to it. First, we reflect, we focus, we automate, we stay accountable, and then we also stay flexible. We stay very flexible because life sometimes. So this is how you make progress without burning out. I hope that now you are gingered to level up your 2026 goals. So let me know in the comment section, what is one of your goals for the year? I will help keep you accountable in the comment section. So comment down below and let's all keep each other accountable this year.